This week in gaming, Pete Hines snipes at Xbox. Asha Sharma might be making good on her promise, and God of War goes multi-mythology. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, how's it going, my man?
It's going well. I had to work today, but because inventory counting was today, I had the day off. I had to be part of all the inventory prep, leading up to it. So it's been a very stressful week, very long, some long days. But I got to cut some time yesterday. Worked pretty much a half day because I got my job done quick and out. So that's what you do when you're good at your job and you're efficient at your job. So now I just have to get through tomorrow, and I'm golden. So, but the hard part is over. Now it's back to business as usual tomorrow.
There's a song called Golden from the international best-selling popular movie called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Ah, okay.
Did you never watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
Have you gone to No, I haven't.
Dude, you're missing out, man.
I thought we discussed this. I know.
I thought
have you
you'd
been to
remedy
McDonald's
this.
to try the meals?
Like the JJK stuff?
No. There's I think the Saja Boys and the Demon Hunters have like exclusive like type of meals at it's like meals, but also like it's like their new thing is like the fry seasoning. It was like international at first, where you put some like special seasoning in the fries in a shake bag, shake it up. They started it with the Grinch meal around Christmas, and now they're doing it again for this. So it's becoming like a hit thing now. And now they have some special like dipping sauces, like the hunter sauce and the demon sauce. So just letting you know.
Felix says, "How good are the fries?" Have you had any of this, Derek?
No, I've seen like mukbangers do it, and it's like top ramen seasoning is from what I've been told.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I can't remember the last time I went to McDonald's. I'm a Chick-fil-A dude, so hence the Chick-fil-A cup.
Like I have a McDonald's on the way to my work, like on the route I take to my work, but I'm just like like I'm kind of like you, like it's almost like, because growing up, we probably, sometimes my parents would just take us to McDonald's like for dinner sometimes, or when I was a quick easy meal, and it was like literally right around the corner from our house. Now that I don't eat McDonald's as much, it's almost like getting off a bad food diet. You know what I mean? It's just like now that the food brainwashing, like the junk brainwashing that they put in their food is not in your system anymore, you kind of don't feel tempted to crave McDonald's all the time.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Joe says the purple sauce is weird. I'm assuming, Joe, that you've eaten this, and the other one is habanero.
Oh, okay.
So,
Amy, what do you, in all caps, what do you mean you didn't watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
Oh, yeah. You got to remedy this, Derek. You got to remedy this.
Yeah.
It's good.
I have a lot to remedy.
True. But yeah, Amy's McDonald's would literally kill me and my baby digestive system. Yeah. So, but now they're doing like a JJK collab as well.
Well, I think that's only I did see that, but it's not in state. It may come to states, but it's like, I think it was like not India. It was somewhere, but it's not here in the States. It's another country.
That's a missed opportunity.
It is. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool. I might actually go to McDonald's." And then I saw not in the United States. I'm like, "Well, and there goes that buzzkill."
Well, and it would have been perfect because season 3 just wrapped up, the Correct. English dub and everything. So it would have been the right time to do something like that. Keep the hype going. Felix says, I've watched this basically anime, but 3D. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's got amazing music. Derek, you got to fix this. Okay. Amy says, I don't know why JJK is doing Happy Meal toys. Kids should not be watching that show.
fair. Like season 1, it almost feels like it's a normal like what we like grew up with Naruto. Like it
Yeah.
has some bad moments, but it's not terrible. But then that's all they can watch because once they get to season 2, yeah, no, you can't watch any of it.
Yeah, it goes sideways. Speaking of anime, if y'all missed last week's show, we had our Eat Sleep anime. Y'all should go check that out. We discussed the winter anime. We discussed anime awards. We discussed a ton of stuff. So go check that out. Tonight we're talking about Witch Hat Atelier. Derek, you better be hyping Witch Hat Atelier, or Amy is going to gut you like a fish. Okay,
look.
I got done, and she was like, "That boy is on the list," and I was like, "Don't shoot me, shoot him." So you better be glazing that thing.
I'm gonna give listen for context, Amy. I want you to hear this. I am really enjoying the show, especially like Monday's episode. Really good. Like I like that is, and I forgot to mention this in our review. That is like, I don't want to say a 1-for-1, but it is like close to like studio. And you may have said this too, Zach.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli quality animation that we're getting in an episodic form. You know what I mean? Like that is really, and especially this last episode was like the little creature that shows up in episode 3, very Ghibli-like. So I am really enjoying this. But Amy, to be fair, I'm only going to glaze it if I really enjoy it. I'm going to give my honest opinion because I have integrity. So I'm not going to glaze something that I don't feel strongly about. But I am enjoying I have enjoyed the first 3 episodes. That doesn't mean I am going to bash it intentionally.
If you don't speak against the hate, you're complicit. So I'm
not
speaking,
part of the solution. You're part of the problem.
I'm speaking out, so I don't have to sleep on the couch, y'all. Felix, have you watched One Piece before? So we just started One Piece, me and my wife Amy. I'm waiting for the Netflix version of the anime because, man, that opening, oh my god, and that ending song of like, I was a kid. Oh my god, it's so freaking bad. But I know it gets so amazing later. But there's so much stuff right now that I want to watch that I'm like, okay, I'll wait till they give it the Dragon Ball Z Kai kind of treatment to it and everything. But Derek has watched One Piece.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I'm not current on it. I am. I'm on like almost episode. Like I'm just under the episode 800. Like I'm pretty much on the Whole Cake Island arc. Like about to start that. So, but I'm trying to get caught up on a bunch of other stuff. So I took a break from it. So hopefully, within the next like 4, 5, 6 months, I can get back on that One Piece journey. But I am on the Whole Cake Island arc. So I am much further than Zach.
Yeah, like we're about to get Sanchi in the crew, so we're very early on. Felix says I'm like season 5 on One Piece. There you go. I don't know how far that is, but I know. Yeah, sorry, I have not watched One Piece at all. We watched a few. We watched like 30 episodes, but that's a drop in the bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's like we literally could have watched 86 or Erased. We literally could have finished a few anime during that. Amy and I have started Demon Slayer. She says Demon Slayer though that slaps.
I see you're already on season 2, so
we'll get to the video games here, guys. Just a second.
Yeah, I know.
So the way Crunchyroll did it was like we finished season 1 and then it went right into Mugen Train, the movie,
right? And
I was like I just like it just played, and I was like, okay. I was like, but we're missing like that first part with like the box lunches and all of that, and I was like, and we got done with it. And I was like, we like if you just watch the movie and don't watch that first episode, you don't get a lot of like Rengoku like as a person. Correct. So we watched that tonight, and Amy was like, I don't like to watch things out of order. And I was like, I was like,
I
yeah,
forgot. I'm sorry.
yeah, but it definitely like, not gonna spoil anything, but donuts are always sad.
You jerk.
Donuts are always sad. Um, he got me out of order, and that is a major pet peeve of mine. What's up, Michael? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, but now
Sounds like you almost got put on the couch anyway.
yeah. But dude, I'm glad she's enjoying it. I'm loving watching it again. And while we're watching that, I've been playing some V Rising on my Portal, which, it's like I know what's going on, but I'm catching bits and pieces and just seeing how things kind of work and all of that. But I've been playing V Rising, and man, it is so good. Like if y'all have, like, it's on PC, it's on PlayStation, I think it's on Xbox as well. But I've got like the premium subscription of PlayStation Plus, so I'm able to stream it on my Portal and all of that. And dude, I'm having so much fun. I'm hunting down people. I'm smacking them with copper hammers and axes, and like you've got to hunt down different people and all of this kind of stuff. This game's a ton of fun. It's literally kept me from playing Death Stranding 2.
Wow, that says something.
Yeah,
so you're all about building those bridges.
I'm all about building my roads, my bridges, and my my monorails. So but I'm building a huge vampire castle right now. That's my thing that I've been working on right now. Is a big old vampire castle. So but it's a lot to do, and it's like you can gather resources, you can fight, you can do all these kind of things. So it's a lot of fun, but you're not having to like worry about like a story. Like it does have a quote unquote story, but man, it's a ton of fun. I'm really liking it.
Got you. So I've been
Amy, Zach loves to build a road, let me tell you. Amy's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm building a road. She's like, all the dang time. Same day, different crap.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
different day, same crap. You know what I mean? So, Derek, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing more of Expedition 33, just kind of like doing the stuff as I'm getting up the levels. I am doing things that I couldn't previously access. I mean, I'm sure you can with the rooms that say danger, but it's going to be like insta death. It's going to be like facing that spider boss in The Witcher when you're under leveled and it just says skull above it and you just one taps you. So that's what I envision if you go into the danger rooms. Zach, when I tell you, this last one I went into called the Flying Manor, boy oh boy, will you not have a fun time with this, because no spoilers, you get there and like I'm sure you've encountered like these like faceless shadow people that you can talk to throughout the game, right? One of those are standing there and it tells you about a person that you haven't seen but has been mentioned at certain points throughout the story. Not like heavily, but it's like been hinted at, they just name drop them. And this is the room where you face them. But before you can do it, you have to kill 4 of their specially, curated bosses to do it. And I'm like, okay, one of them's not bad. But then 2 of them are not bad, but one's a trio of the same type of boss but different elements. I'm like, great. And some of them, like I didn't figure out how the thing works, but at some point, like 2 of them are always like get immunity and don't receive damage for at least a turn. One does, but 2 don't. It's a weird thing. But I ended up winning that. One of them was a duelist variant, and I'm like, oh god, I know how to do this, but it's annoying to do it again. You know what I mean? But then there's your old friend, the Lamp Master, Zach. And I was like, that was like the first one I faced. And I was like, Zach's going to hate this. He's going to rage quit immediately.
No.
But it gets better, Zach. So, you're traversing and it's like 4 different areas you can access, which is really cool. Like the map in this, like the design and like how you get to the 4 bosses, really cool. And then of course you have like mini bosses and like big creatures that you can fight there, in those same areas as well. to gain more experience. But then when you are able to access the room, it keeps asking you at certain, like you hit the prompt to, it's like, do you want to open the door? Yes. There's like there's like a dangerous presence behind there. Are you sure you want, and it asks you like several times, are you sure you want to open the door? I'm like, okay. So you go there and you find said person. When I tell you this is the most rage-inducing boss battle I have ever encountered, I mean that, because it took, just for like in the whole game, like at least in the whole game. Let me just start off by saying it took me over an hour to finish this fight. Like, yes, like an hour. Like, I'm glad I did this when I was off of work, because I didn't know. So you fight it, and it basically, their attacks are, it's basically a parry fest. Now, I'm not sure about dodging, because I've got my Picto set up to where I gain more ability points by parrying, successfully and whatever. So it's basically a parry fest, because they summon groups of different Nevrons to do their attacks for them. It's like a trio, quadruple, it's like a series of attacks that you have to successfully do. And when you're fighting a new boss, you don't know their move set, so you're learning the attacks. If you get hit even once, no matter how much damage, and I don't know if it varies, like I did like a good amount of damage, and then it regained over like 500,000 health, basically refilled its health. And it does this, like it doesn't matter if it's one hit or you get hit every time, it regains over 500,000 health every time. So you just seeing getting hit, it frustrated me, because I saw that health bar, like I did so much damage, and then it goes, it almost negates what you've done so far. But also, if you get stunned, your stun lasts, like it's not like a one-turn thing, or like it just lasts and lasts and lasts until you're dead or you heal yourself. It forces you to go through your resources. And I'm sure there's a way that you could have counteracted the health ability, but and once I started learning, because they summon like at least 3 or 4 different groups of Nevrons to do attacks, and like once their turn starts, it tells you they're summoning these type of Nevrons, so it gives you hints as to what's coming, so you can get ready for those patterns. Just as you learn those, they summon another 3 or 4 different groups of Nevrons that are even more infuriating than the ones you just got learning the patterns from. And I'm like, there was one, it was called the Agile group of Nevrons, where it was like you had to parry like 4 times in rapid succession before it like did a break. And every time that popped up, I'm like, doggone it. Like, I'm sitting there like, I hate this, because luckily it didn't appear that many times, but at least until I got their health down past half, and then it started appearing more frequently. I'm like, all right, at least I got the patterns down, you know what I mean? But then some of those groups of Nevrons did something, like 2 of the groups did different things. Like one would summon a group of Nevrons, and however many times it successfully hit you, gave them a shield. So then you would have to wear down their shields to do damage.
Yeah.
But they still gained the health increase. And then the Agile group that frustrated me so much, it takes away your AP every time it hits you. And I'm like, so yeah, it was just an infuriating mess. Like I literally was stuck. I literally could not get them for like probably at least the first 30 to 40 minutes of that fight. I did not get them down below half health. So, and then there was a few times where I screwed up and I got hit like 2, because they could go multiple turns, like 2 to 3 turns in a row. And I'm like, great. So there was 2 turns I got hit, and they regained over 1 million health. And I'm like, here we go. I just made a chunk of progression, and I'm about to lose it all in like a couple turns. But then finally I started gaining the patterns, and then like, the gradient attacks played it. Like I used Mael's like level 3 gradient, and it did like, at one point it did over 1 million damage. I was like, let's go. I made a good chunk, and then didn't let them get health recovery for a good chunk of time. And I literally dropped on, like I was literally standing up, doing the coach's thing,
Gotta go in the coach's chair.
I know. And then they fell back on the couch when it was over. I was like, thank God. But yeah, it was the most infuriating boss fight I've had in the entire game. And Zach, I can only imagine if you ever get to that, how your reaction will be.
I don't think I'm like that. That's just not in my wheelhouse of wanting to do.
As soon as I mentioned Latmaster and the new Elise, you're like, nope, I'm out, dog.
I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Uh,
I don't like to be ticked off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like Lamp Master is like finally like I figured out how to beat it and everything. The duelist or whatever, the one that
Hmm.
you fight in like the pit, like I got
Yeah.
that in the first try. I was like, dang, that was
Oh,
easy.
okay. I couldn't
But yeah,
remember. I know. I don't know why I thought that you had a harder time with it than I thought.
no, like Lamp Master is the one that I was like banging my head against the.
Yeah.
But thanks to like one of our viewers, Koshi, he kind of hinted my way through it, and then I
Yeah.
finally figured it out. But yeah, I like right now I'm in like I've gotten to where like you fight the paintress, like the big paintress, and she totally
Oh,
ignores
yeah.
you. And then you go into I can't remember what it's called. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, like you go into like the world.
Yeah, so I'm in there now.
Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool,
So
cool. So you're almost done with Act 2 then.
yeah, exactly. I know there's a lot more to go. I'm just
Yeah.
like, my God, this game is so flipping long,
It
which is a
is
good
like
thing. It's a good thing, but
right.
you know,
You thoroughly enjoy it, especially if you go branch off and fight the things, man. Because like you don't like for an indie game. Again, this was made by an indie
yeah,
studio. Like for this, like you understand why it won Game of the Year because it just keeps progressing. But after I beat that, like I finally I leveled up enough to go to like you'll see it. It's called like it's like those like what you see like the canvas murals that are dangerfied or whatever,
yes,
like spread throughout. So I finally was able to go in there without it saying danger. And then I encountered it's another weird level out, but then I've met one of the shadow people and it said, "Oh yeah, you can finally slay this thing. If you can we ask you to slay?" I'm like, "Nope, I don't care if it's the easiest boss battle I ever fought. I am not about to have another boss battle on top of the one I just faced. No, thank you." I paused right there.
you're like, I'm good. I'm gonna go watch some anime.
Yeah, I need a stress relief right now.
Yeah, because like you know, for the people that haven't played Expedition 33, it's a fantastic game, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so active during the battles, like unlike most turn-based games.
Yep.
So it's like you're unless you are on the attack where you have like there's no time to
Yeah.
like you know make it happen. Like if you're on defense or anything, you're having to like dodge, parry, or
Oh
jump
yeah.
and all of that, or you're going to get wrecked. But yeah, it's yeah. I thankfully like I've got it now where like I'm playing like the fire stacking kind of meta
Oh
at the
yeah.
moment with Mael and I've got
CL or is it
I
Lune?
Lune that I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
both of it with, and man, it's made things so much more manageable with some
Mm-hmm.
of these harder bosses and everything, especially being in the paintress world. I don't know, it's the
Yeah.
Megapolis or whatever. I have no idea what it's called.
Yeah.
The spy. I have no idea. Anyway, like those enemies are like way harder, and it's like
Oh
having
yeah.
to like try not to go hit a flag or use all my resources and all that. So, but
Yeah.
we love Expedition 33. Let's get a few comments before we jump into the news. Nate says, got one of the handheld emulators, been playing Pokemon Emerald and a Dragon Ball
Ooh.
side scroller game on Game Boy Advance. I want to say that I was playing some Dragon Ball side scroller on my phone when Apple finally had like an emulator and everything. Now,
Huh.
one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games of all time, Legacy of Goku 2. Did you ever play
Really?
Legacy of Goku?
Did not.
Legacy of Goku, like the first one was good. It was a little basic, but 2, dude, it was so fun. You were able to go Super Saiyan and all of this kind of stuff. I never played. There was one that came after. It wasn't Legacy of Goku, but it was essentially the third. But it had
Right.
Boo. So like one was Saiyan Saga all the way to Namek. The second one was the Android Saga, and then the third one was the Boo Saga.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically just like the show.
Yeah, essentially. And you also got like future Trunks with that Gohan there and everything, so you did get to
Oh,
experience
okay.
that too.
Yeah.
So Yeah, some really cool stuff. And in Legacy of Goku 2, they even brought in like cooler, like if you went to like a specific area.
Ooh,
So
okay.
had some little Easter eggs like that, which I really enjoyed. So yeah.
But you didn't fight Bio Broly?
Sorry, that was Legacy of Goku 3. No, that was 2. Yeah, you didn't fight Bio Broly.
I know. I hate that movie with a passion. I shouldn't
Yeah,
have even done the second one, but the second one was at
no,
least tolerable. Bio
no,
Broly, utter garbage.
no. Yeah, like I understand it's like Broly was cool, but like you're milking it at that point.
Thank
Felix
God they
says,
retconned that.
yeah. Felix says on Roblox, I'm playing Blocks Fruits. It's a game similar to One Piece.
Huh.
Dope.
Interesting.
Dope. Well, Derek, it's time for the gaming discussion this week. First up, Pete Hines speaks out as to what led to his retirement, and this is by Michael Kripe at IGN.
So, former Bethesda marketing lead Pete Hines has opened up about how he saw the Fallout publisher get, quote, damaged and broken apart before announcing his retirement in 2023. The now retired gaming industry vet touched on why he chose to step away from Bethesda during a wide ranging interview with Fireside Chat. When reminiscing about his decades-long journey through the release of everything from Doom to The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Hines shared his feeling about changes within the company and what ultimately drove him to leave. Hines had previously stated that it made sense for him to retire around the launch of the long-awaited Starfield, and reiterated that point in the new interview. Although moving on meant leaving colleagues like Bethesda's Todd Howard and Aaron Losey, there was more than simple timing influencing his decision. Quote, I just hit a point of yes, Bethesda needs me, and I am powerless to do what I think needs to be done to run this place properly, to protect these people, to maintain what we worked so hard to create, which is an incredibly efficient, well-run video game developer and publisher, he explained. And then when I was unable to do what I thought my job should involve in continuing to have that place be, if not the most efficient publisher in the games industry, it was the screw up there. And then I couldn't protect it, and I saw how it was getting damaged and broken apart and frankly mistreated, abused, whatever word you want to use. I said, I'm not going to sit there and watch this happen right in front of me. Hines continues saying, quote, this is not when I wanted it to end or how I wanted it to end. However, he said attempting to maintain his role at Bethesda took a toll on his mental health, adding that he eventually made the decision to leave sometime in 2022, the year before Starfield launch. Every time Todd delayed Starfield, I thought, crap, I'm here another 8 months, he said, and Todd was the only one who knew. It's another reason I love that man. He showed up for me when I was just at my wit's end and got me through that and got me out of there in a way that I still retained my sanity. Hines refrained from speaking in detail about any individual event, person, or decision that caused him to consider exiting in the first place. The timeline leading to the Hines retirement includes Microsoft's announcement that it intended to acquire Bethesda for, quote, $7.5 billion with a B in 2020 before completing the acquisition in 2021. Emails revealed in 2023 also saw the former marketing lead express confusion over Microsoft's decision to make Bethesda titles Xbox exclusive while pushing games like Call of Duty to other platforms. Yeah, that was the worst part, Hines continued in the Fireside Chat interview. It was to join a place that I genuinely was a fan of and people there I genuinely held in high regard and esteem, and then got there and see how it actually worked. To talk is something, right? But I'm very much about what is to follow up to that. Do you mean what you say, or are you just saying that sounds good, and then as soon as you leave this room, that's completely forgotten? He admitted that Bethesda may not have always been able to do what it said it was going to do. However, he feels it at least always tried, adding, quote, we are going to do whatever we say and say what we do and be genuine and be authentic. And truthfully, I think Bethesda is part of something that is not authentic and is not genuine, he continued, and that shouldn't be a surprise to you. So, Zach, shots across the bow here. He didn't hold back. That NDA must have came up. You know what I mean? Like that was it? Gag order must have expired or whatever. So, it's a lot to think about, and again, it's getting into the bed. It's getting to bed with the devil. You know, again,
Yeah.
like he said, you think you hold in high regard, you love a lot of people, and that's a lot of business, right? That's a lot of time in retail and a lot of time in general business. You know, and with sports athletes, I'm sure, like with anime studios, like just whatever kind of business you run, you think you meet up with people. It's like, oh, we get to do this partnership, cool, like that's cool, and then they get in, and it's like, this is the ideas we have, and we are going to, whatever ideas you have don't matter, and you're going to do our part. Okay, thanks, bye. And then you're just like, cool. This is not how I thought this was going to go. And then but then he says that it was even worse. He says, like, again, typical business. You get in a meeting, it's like, oh yeah, we'll do this, that, and the other, and we'll make sure this happens. And then all of a sudden, 6 months down the road, when it's supposed to happen, it doesn't, or it completely changes. And they're like, yeah, well, I don't, we changed our mind on this, or no, we never talked about this. And it's like, okay, thanks. So, one of the first things that popped in my head when I saw this article come across was, can you imagine what Phil Spencer will say about Microsoft leadership? That kind of, like, if it turns out that they forced him out, or like basically put a gun to his head proverbially and said, hey, we need you to implement this. And Phil was like, you know what? I've been good soldier. I don't need to put my employees through this any more than I need to. I already laid off more than I wanted to. I need to step away. So can you imagine in a few years when we hear a Phil Spencer interview, like, and he's just candid, like off cuff, just said, screw it. I'm going, here's where I'm going.
Yeah. It would be very interesting to see his side of things, because I feel like we're getting more of, like, as execs talking openly about things.
Yeah.
Like Shuhei did kind of his circuit when he like was able to talk and everything, but it was, I feel like, again, it's a totally different culture as well. I felt like Shuhei was very respectful on everything that he talked about, and there was no ill will, and like Pete Hines had a totally different experience than what Shuhei had and everything. And man, I like clicked on the link to the Fireside thing. Pete has aged. Like, I know it's been a few years, but I was just like, man, like, no wonder you're retiring. Like, it's time, my dude. I always loved Pete. Like, he was a straight shooter, he didn't give fluff like Todd,
Yeah. And that's why I was literally going to say that too, is like, I mean, mad respect to Todd for getting him through it. Like, obviously he's a little bit better, but I always thought Todd was very like tongue in cheek about a lot of things, and like very, like, he didn't always give like the actual answer. He always gave you some like corporate speak.
It felt very political, like, politician.
Yeah.
I don't want you mad at me kind of deal. And it's just like,
exactly. Like,
it's
still
like,
love me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like, I don't need that. I need you to be honest.
But Pete was just like, whatever, let's do this. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to have fun while doing it.
Yeah. And I just, I just remember, Greg calling up Pete and everything, like, on Kind of Funny, and just be, and he would answer the phone. It's like, this is literally the marketing head of a major studio.
Yeah. That's probably in the middle of a business transaction right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's just like, that's the kind of person Pete Hines is. And he clearly like cared, because he wanted it to run well. And even when things didn't go well, they handled it better than a lot of, companies would, I think. Not forgiving some of the things that that Bethesda's done in the past. But when you look at this, it's like I think of it like the way I've had it in business and everything. It's like, no matter how good it sounds, it's never going to work out that way. No, It doesn't matter. It's like any kind of relationship. They're always going to pretty it up. You know what I mean? It's always going to sound so good and all of this, and then it's like you start seeing the cracks. You know what I mean? You start seeing this, that, and the other. Promises are broken, whatever it is, and it's like, okay, this is just like anything else. And I feel like Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's sort of like that thing, never meet your heroes type of deal, because you just want to keep that image.
Yeah, and like I feel like a lot of people got a rude awakening of what it is to be bought by a larger corporation. Bungie,
Mm-hmm.
all the people there has been dealing with that. Blue Point, being closed. It's just like everybody's excited to get to work with these major, companies and all of this. And then it's just like when a musician signs to a label, it's like, oh, it's exciting until they're making more money off of your art than you do,
Yep.
and that's just the way it goes, unfortunately.
Yep. So it's rough. Like I said, I can't wait to see a Phil Spencer candid interview. I don't know if he will, unless like, because if he was at the forefront of a lot of those decisions, then he won't speak on it. But if it was the leadership at Microsoft proper that was behind a lot of these changes, which we talked about, some of like the 30% ROI and everything like that. If it turns out Microsoft wanted some more invasive like business dealings or business, meddlings, then Phil will speak on that for 100%. I know he's been with the company for decades, but that doesn't, like, if you bite the hand that feeds you, you have no loyalty. You know,
Yeah, I just don't know if he will. Like, I feel like
Sarah Bond might.
Sarah Bond, I don't know. I don't know what she's doing now, but like she definitely wasn't celebrated going out and everything. But I feel like, Phil's just like whatever at this point. Like, he just seems like a very chill dude. And I know
Yeah,
that's a
he's just
persona
like,
and
let me
all
play
of
my
that.
video games.
Yeah, it's like if I was him, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah,
I'd be like, whatever. Like I'm retired. I'm gonna play Fallout 76 and just enjoy my time with my wife and whatever else I
yeah.
want to do. So
So
that's how I would think about it. But I I don't I don't put anything bad on Pete Hines for like talking about this because I
no,
think it is important for this not to happen again. I don't want to see in like 20 years we go through another buying spree of of studios and then we see closures and huge layoffs. Like we've got to learn
I
from
know,
this so it doesn't happen again.
I know. But unfortunately, it will. Like, I know crossing streams a little bit, but Marvel just laid off over 1,000 people, and now like their, and was it visual effects team is basically bare bones. So it's definitely only gonna get worse from here.
Well, and that's crazy because they would like overwork them, give them crazy deadlines, and now the thing that makes the Marvel movies or made the Marvel movies look good and then they looked like crap because they weren't
Mm-hmm.
given the budget. It's like we're gonna like scrap them down even more, and it's like, oh, so we're gonna just have animatics. We're gonna have stick figures. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
what do you expect? There's a reason
exactly.
why there's a reason why people aren't watching Marvel movies anymore.
Yeah. So
Speaking of the devil itself, Epic Games is working on a Disney extraction shooter, and this is by Michael Kripe at IGN.
so Fortnite developer Epic Games is reportedly working on a new extraction shooter featuring Disney characters that is set to launch later this year. A Bloomberg report states the currently unnamed spin-off is expected to launch in November of this year. And who else but Epic Games to go up against GTA 6, just for the record. It, as well as the other two unnamed titles, is said to be the result of a 1.5 billion with a B investment Disney made in the gaming giant back in 2024. According to the site's sources, the Mystery Extraction experience is said to be a shooting game not unlike Embark Studios' Arc Raiders, which launched to an impressive player numbers and wound up a massive success for the developer late last year. Those familiar with the Disney games say some at Epic are optimistic the project will stick the landing at launch, though internal reviews have expressed concern about unoriginal game mechanics. Disney has had plenty of its character crossovers to the main Fortnite experience in the years since the investment was announced, with two recent examples seeing Buzz Lightyear and Emperor Zurg joining its enormous roster of skins. Last month, Epic gave players the ability to create their own experiences based on Star Wars, The game has also featured numerous crossovers with the Marvel Universe in the past. It's unclear which characters from Disney's wide catalog of IP it plans to let loose in a new extraction shooter from Epic. Further details on the two entertainment companies' continued partnership are even murkier, as Bloomberg reports the plan is to eventually see at least a second and third game materialize in the future. There's no word on what shapes each will take, and as the site's sources paint a picture of average internal reviews for game number 2, while resources for game 3 have been reallocated to the others. Bloomberg reports Disney was, quote, disappointed with the game developers' progress on the other projects, which drove the decision to shift resources around. Epic Senior Director of Global Communications Liz Markman told the site its reporting is, quote, not effective of, or not reflective of the ambitions at the Disney collaboration, adding, we are building a new game and entertainment universe of Disney experiences. Epic's timelines are aggressive and always have been. We've heavily moved developers onto projects with releases approaching, while smaller prototyping teams are working on further off projects. A representative for Disney also provided the site with a statement saying that it remains, quote, focused on our long-term collaboration with Epic, which continues to have strong momentum, and our work to build a transformational games and entertainment universe remains unchanged. And Zach, let me tell you, when I read this, I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to be the one they want, dog. Like, I know we talked about a few weeks ago how, the momentum from Fortnite is kind of slowing down. I know they laid off over 1,000 people. They shut down a few modes from the gaming and like going to try different things, but I feel like, not to say that the Fortnite train is going to stop anytime soon, but I feel like it is starting to wane. You know what I mean? And like it feels like it's getting very formulaic. They're not, like the skins, like the collabs, the seasons aren't as enticing as they were, are not, at least not drawing in new crowds of people to spend the money that they want. So now I think that they're saying, let's go full Disney. And I get it's a partnership with the investment Disney made a couple of years ago. However, I don't know if this, like, I don't know what part of it's not going to work. I just feel like, now maybe it will. Maybe, and the fact that they already got like 3 games in this like same realm planned is concerning, which means that come hell or high water, pardon the turn of phrase, they're going to go with it full bore because Disney put in over $1 billion of their money into it. And I don't know which part is turned me off more, the fact that it's going to be Disney based or the fact that it's an extraction shooter with Disney characters. It's like something there is not going to work or is not going to appeal to the same fan base that Fortnite is. I don't know. Zach, how do you see this? Do you see this as like Epic's hands being tied, or do you think that this is just like, well, let's try something new and like Google, like just throw it at the wall. If it sticks, cool. If not, right off.
I think extraction shooters, like there's a reason why Arc Raiders came out of nowhere and did well, because it wasn't expected. It wasn't formulaic.
Yeah.
Yes, it has a formula to it and everything, but it offered something different. It offered something that we were kind of missing for a while, because like World War Z and PUBG, it feels a lot like Arc Raiders, but it was just something that wasn't Fortnite. It wasn't Call of Duty. It was this outlier. And now what are we doing? We're chasing a trend. We're trying to do something that someone has already done. And if you look back at kind of the history of like where gaming has gone, Fortnite is on the WoW trajectory, where WoW hit this huge high point where it was the only thing people knew. WoW, if they didn't know anything else about video games, they knew something about World of Warcraft, at least have heard WoW before. And Fortnite is that now. And we're about to see Fortnite slowly over time lose more and more momentum, more and more player base. We've talked about it, where the time that people are playing is gone down drastically from like 22 hours down to like 16 hours. That's a huge jump for people like that are playing, weekly and all of that. So Disney is wanting to see it get money back on this, but I think this is like, Epic does have some interesting chops in playing, making games and all of this, but having an extraction shooter, making it another Fortnite or whatever it is, battle royale, like that's not the way to do this. Like use
No.
your properties wisely. Like I know we've got like Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's kind of like an Animal Crossing thing. It's done really well.
Yeah.
I think if like, why don't you use like the Aliens franchise and get like a really good Aliens franchise like game out of that? It could be something that is extraction shooter, having that kind of world where it's like, oh, if you don't extract, you're going to get an alien put in your body,
Yeah.
and then this is okay. Here we go, Disney. This is the idea. Okay. I got my light over here. When it's kind of like the zombies kind of like take where it's like once you get you get turned and you get made into an alien, and then you play as the aliens trying to take down other people and everything. That would be interesting. Something different, a different take on it, because like I don't want to play something in the Marvel universe where you're a shield agent and you're trying to like extract or like what I mean. That feels very shoehorned in kind of deal. And like Star Wars, I feel like that would be a weird way. Like, yeah, I guess like you're trying to get like resources for the rebellion or whatever. It's like you can make it work, but it's like does it make sense?
Right.
It's like,
So
yeah.
I was just going to say, I was going to interject just because this thought crossed my mind. Just saying, if you want to, going back to chasing a trend, right? Not to take away from Embark Studios and oh my god, I just blanked on the name of the game.
Arc Raiders.
The game. Arc Raiders. Thank you. And not to discredit, and I know it's like a different type of like extraction shooter, but I'm going to categorize. I'm going to say this because you did get extracted, and it was shooting in that game. Division Dark Zone was one of the first ones to do it, to make it popular. Just saying. So, if we're going to chase a trend, let's give credit to the granddaddy that brought this into it. So,
well, World War Z. Well, no, that was more of a battle royale, I guess.
Yeah. Well, wave based too.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of no, it was World War Z. The one World War Z is the one based off the movie, right?
No. There is a game that's I might be thinking of something else. There is a game that's
World War Daisy. Z. There's Daisy.
Daisy, okay, yeah. Like I'm just looking at okay, so here's the ones that make we've got Star Wars, we got Pixar, we got classic Disney Marvel characters, and then you got the 20th century side of things.
Yeah.
Avatar, which we've already got in a video game, did not do well.
Yeah.
Alien, Predator, Die Hard. If we got the Simpsons, but if we got like if Simpsons Road Rage, dude.
Yeah.
Just give us that again. That would sell really well. But having like Die Hard that's like Max Payne.
Oh, yeah.
That would be very interesting to see. Home Alone, Family Guy, Ice Age, Night at the Museum, and Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, I don't like.
Oh, that would be.
I think it would be cool where like if you could do more of an extraction. Yeah. Because it's more resources and all of that, and it like you could kit out your ape and all of this kind of stuff.
Because again, apes together strong.
Yeah. So like there is some things there, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the extraction thing is overdone at this point. You need to do something different.
And again, just because one doesn't mean you can capture that same genie in the bottle. You know what I mean? Like, of course, a couple of studios have that magic and have that ability to just and the right marketing materials to just wow players into getting there. But not everyone can do it. You can't just say, "Oh, slap a title on there, say we're an extraction shooter, or we're saying we're a battle royale or a live service game, and people will just automatically flock to you. No, what makes your game unique? What is the sales pitch? What is your shtick to make you differentiate from the other competitors in that same genre to make people want to spend their money and spend their time playing your games? Don't just copy and paste what everyone else is doing and hope that you'll have the same success.
Unique value statement.
Yep.
Why should people care? And that's something that Disney has just homogenized over time. Everything's the same. So it's really bad. So yeah, let's move on to our midpoint of the show. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. We're live each and every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time, to talk about all the video game news that you need to know. So make sure that you're here each and every week so you don't miss out on anything in the video game sphere. So now let's talk about the future of Game Pass. Asha Sharma doubles down on Game Pass price. And this is by Michael Kripe at IGN.
Now, and just side note, because I didn't realize that the first 3 articles that we're talking about tonight were written by the same person. That's not intentional. I just get the articles that I see. I don't pay attention to the bylines. So this is not intentional. But going to that, the new Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has reportedly shared a memo with Microsoft employees that stated, quote, Game Pass has become too expensive for players. Quote, Game Pass is central to gaming value on Xbox. It's also clear that the current model isn't the final one, the memo said. Short-term Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Long-term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system, which will take time to test and learn around. Sharma promised to, quote, go deeper with the Xbox team about the points shared in her memo next week, but her comments at least suggested that adjustments are in the works. Information included in the memo follows a separate report from late last month that the new CEO was hoping to make Game Pass more affordable. So, and, we did talk about that. And, she, it seems like she's doubling down, which good on her. And she seems like she's wanting to make a commitment. I do think, and we'll get in here into it in the next article because there's a follow-up to it that I thought is very interesting. I think that because you have to get the price down at this point, right? Because you can't just but now the price point going down means that some things will be lost. Now, I know we have speculated, it'll just resort to like another tier that you'll have to buy and read the bylines about what this. It's almost like Ubisoft games. Remember at one point they had like 4 or 5 different editions of a singular game, and each one came with different stuff, but each like a more expensive edition would come with the other stuff that would come with the cheaper editions. So it feels like it would go that. But I think she's looking at it's like, look, let's just focus on getting it down. But let's be realistic here. Because if you lower the price, you're going to have to take some stuff away. And I know people are not going to want to hear that, but look at anytime in business, you can't keep expecting more and then have the price be the same. You know what I mean? Like it's going to have to equal out the cost, the cost adjustment. So if you're going to take stuff away, if you're going to make it cheaper, you have to take some stuff away. I feel like they will take some bigger AAA games, maybe from some external studios that they purchased, and take them off day one. They will come to Game Pass eventually, but they will not be part of like the day one launch. I feel like the core Xbox exclusives that have been with them for years, like Gears, like Halo, like Fable, all that will be day one. But I feel like some Activision Blizzard titles may not be day one anymore. Some Bethesda titles may not even be day one anymore. So I feel like that will have to I think beforehand Elder Scrolls 6 was going to be a day one Xbox, Game Pass, easy home run hit. Now I'm thinking that's not going to be the case. I feel like a massive game like that, they're going to have to say, well, if we want to make Game Pass cheaper, we can't put a massive game like this on here. We want to maximize sales to offset the money we're losing on Game Pass and whatever. So, and then after we made our money, like 6 months down the road or 4 months down the road, put it on that Game Pass, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
once the fall off has happened. Yeah, once the fall off has happened of who's going to actually buy it.
Right. So I do like I do like that she is active. Like, it's not just like, oh, like we're a month from the past statement of like, oh, I want to look into this. Now it's like, okay, now I want to make this a priority to make it cheaper. But I'm just tempering everyone's expectations that are going to, obviously, there's still going to be shocked Pikachu faces when this statement eventually comes out that, oh, well, we're going to have to maybe not do so many like other companies that we bought on Game Pass day one. They'll come later, but you can't just click on and be like download, the week of release or whatever. So just tempering expectations and just letting people know. But Zach, what is your take on this?
Yeah, I think again, it could be a new tier system. I think bringing down the price like $10 would bring so much goodwill to what
Yes.
Xbox is trying to do, especially under this new leadership. Something as you were talking that kind of popped to my head would be, what if they did it in a different way instead of like, oh, well, you've got, regular Game Pass, and then you've got the Xbox only, and then you got the PC only, and then you got Ultimate, which is PC, Xbox, and cloud. What if they did it where it's like, okay, you get Xbox Studios games.
Ooh.
That's the basic package.
Yeah.
Next package, you get Xbox Studio and Bethesda. And then the granddaddy is Xbox, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard, where you get all of them. And then that way it's like they're tier stepping up to where it's like, okay, because we're about to get into Call of Duty side of things, but it's like, okay, what if I only want third parties? Okay,
yeah,
well, we do a third party Game Pass that, I think there's a way to package that, because they are spending a lot of money to get because day one, Expedition 33 was on Game Pass.
Yes.
But Expedition 33 wasn't what Expedition 33 is now.
No, so no one saw that coming,
Yeah, so it's like, okay, how can we do this in a different way, but let people, it's like, oh, well, I only really care about Gears of War, and I only really care about X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, well, I don't really care about Call of Duty, so why would I pay for that when I care about Xbox and, Bethesda games? Those are the ones, those are the ones that get me, and you get that package or what, you know what I mean? Like, there's a different way to skin the cat here that I don't think that they're looking at, instead of just like, okay, regular this, Xbox and then PC and, Ultimate and all of that. I think, and even like having just a cloud side of things. But regardless, you've got to make this super clear what is in this and what isn't. Correct. And try to make it as not confusing to the public as possible. But Derek, let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty 2026 might not be a day one launch on Game Pass, and this is by Wesley Yinpool at IGN.
So Microsoft is reportedly considering pulling this year's Call of Duty game out of Xbox Game Pass as a day one release. Windows Central's Jez Corden who was first to report the talks, said the addition of Call of Duty as a day one Game Pass launch was one of the reasons Microsoft hiked the price of the subscription. Microsoft added Call of Duty games to Game Pass following the company's $69 billion with a B acquisition of Activision Blizzard, while former Xbox executives had insisted sales could be boosted by a game's presence on Game Pass. Some publishers remained unconvinced. Former Activision boss Bobby Kotick, for example, was always against putting Call of Duty into subscription services. And this is what I was alluding to, because this kind of followed up right after Asha Sharma had made that statement about lowering the price of Game Pass. And this is what I was tempering expectations, and not just the fact that Call of Duty was one of the reasons to raise the subscription, but also just to make it cheaper for consumers because of everything else going on with good trading goods. But why did Call of Duty raise it? Because despite our personal feelings on it, we've discussed it ad nauseum about how we feel about Call of Duty. It's still a massively selling game every year, no matter if it ends up being a trash game, no matter if it ends up being a good game. people will buy Call of Duty day one. They will go to stores, they will buy it digitally, whatever. And Game Pass just enhanced the ability of the number of people that can access it day one. So yeah, they got their player base up, but because of how much it costs them to buy not only Activision Blizzard, but how much to put it on Game Pass, I had to raise the price. But can you imagine if not taking it on there, how much more in sales they could make off of that? And I think that's what it's a two-edged sword. Like, yes, if they're taking it off of Game Pass, it will help the consumers, with subscription models and getting that player base up. But also it would put more money in their pockets by more people spending 70, 80, however many dollars Call of Duty is going to be at launch. So, which again, that's a two-edged sword in and of itself, because if more people who buy it, the less likely people will get laid off at Activision Blizzard. You know what I mean? But also it's still a lot of money for the consumer. You're still banking on the consumers buying it at full price rather than being used to, oh, well, it was on Game Pass for so many years. Why are you taking it off now? Like the instant gratification people. But obviously I think it's a smart move. And just looking at it objectively, it's a smart move on their part, because again, it leads to more money. But also, if this is one of the ways to get Game Pass down, to get those people that you lost with the price hikes back, I'm all for it, because again, it's a consumer-friendly deal that needs to get back to one of the best values in gaming.
Yeah. And if you're wanting to hit that 30%, margin on your games, Call of Duty is the one that could potentially hit it.
Oh yeah. That is the most likely candidate to do it.
So it's like, okay, if you want a free Call of Duty game, you got Warzone, you got that there to be able to go with that. And then you have all the back catalog of all the Call of Duties that are on Game Pass. People can play, regardless if it comes to Game Pass or not, people are still going to complain. Like we've already learned that gamers are going to complain. We do it every week on this show. But I think this is a way to sweeten their pocketbook and also help consumers that want to do Game Pass, instead of everybody having to pay for Call of Duty when it's like, I know Call of Duty has a huge, following and everything. I'm just not that person anymore. You know what I mean? Nope. Like it used to be, but that ship has sailed and then got sunk, and then everybody died and froze in the water. That door was large enough for both of them. Okay. That door was large enough for both of them. I was hoping
you were going there. I'm like, this sounds oddly specific.
But, with the future of Game Pass, like I said, if they do this, awesome. Do the, 6 months or 4 months when you see the drop off on sales, because every year when we watch the sales charts for games through the year, Call of Duty is always the one that is in the top 10 every year.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, why would we limit that on one of our, we own it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, why we would do that? And so, it's just, I think it's a different way to do this. And again, I think an interesting model would be by the publishers,
by studio. Studio, the publisher end. So yeah, that would be, I think, another genius marketing strategy by Zach. You know what I mean?
At my day job, I'm called the creative marketing specialist. So I don't know, Xbox Asha, I'll say it right here. If you want to hire me, I'm on LinkedIn. Look me up. I did follow Sarah Bond. I guess I need to find you on LinkedIn. But yeah, you can hire me, and I will make Xbox right. Okay, I will make Xbox right, and we will make it the best deal in gaming once again. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Asha does. I think, the plan is the plan until it's not the plan. But as long as this plan keeps going the way it sounds like it's going to, I'm excited.
Yep. Same here.
So real quick, Felix has a question. Hey, Nerd Cave, what would you do if one of your favorite games is dying because of scammers and pay to win? Um, that's hard because you as a player can only do so much. That's the
Correct.
unfortunate part of this. What I would say, especially like Roblox, I know that a lot of it is like user based, like you're creating different games, different worlds, and everything. I would surround yourself with people that are like minded, that value the entertainment and the fun part of the game. And
Mm-hmm.
I would avoid any kind of scammy behavior, pay to win,
Yeah.
weird stuff like that. Like, you're already paying to play the game with your
Right.
time and your money. You shouldn't be paying to have to win. And if there are games like that, like I know Roblox has a ton of different games within their like community and all of that. I know
Mm-hmm.
like this much about Roblox, okay? Find the stuff that isn't like that. Find forums like on Reddit that talks about, what's good and all of that. That would be my suggestion, because I
Yeah.
dealt with the dying of Halo Infinite, which was kind of a
Yep.
different way. It was it was
Right.
the studio, kind of like smothering the
Yeah.
game. So it's, as long as you have people that you enjoy playing with, I think that's the biggest part of this.
Mm-hmm.
That even if you're playing just with your friends like that, I think that will be more fun than having to deal like with the scammer
Right.
side of things. Derek, what do you think?
I can't speak too much on it because all the games I play now don't require like the pay to win function, so it's completely single player, completely like no online interactions whatsoever. So I can't really speak too much on it, but I do reiterate. But also, like, now again, and I'm thinking of this from my point of view, in sense of, in the sense of don't call attention to it. You know what I mean? It's always like the negative media that's published around it. You know, like, how do you kill it? Just don't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, don't bring attention to it. Don't, like, because it's only going to fuel. And I know that's hard to say because, like, I'm just like, outside of this, like, I'm not really active on social media. So it's like people won't know. Like, I'll be screaming into a void. And I'm not saying, oh, people like, just throwing out a name, Jacksepticeye or whoever, like big streamers with big followings, like Markiplier, have to be the ones that tout this. But it's just like there's only, like you alliterated in the beginning, like there's only so much you can do. Like you are one person, you can't control it. The only thing is you can focus on what you can do with your experience and what you can do. Like my thing is like don't call attention to it. Like if someone's pay to win, okay, cool. Like you can report them, ban them if they're like cheating or scamming or whatever. So report them, and I mean that's on the company. If they don't decide not to take action, cool. But if you're having a blast with your friend, like yeah, there might be a few jerks, and you always run into that with any kind of online interaction, right? And I mean, it is what it is. Like you're gonna have bad nights, you're gonna have great nights, and it just like you don't let it ruin your experience, like what you want out of the game.
Yeah, and if the people that you're playing with are, being toxic or whatever, you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
play with them. Like they don't
Yeah.
have any bearing on your life. So always have that, back in the back of your mind. You don't owe anybody your time.
Anything.
Yeah. So just know that. Yeah. But let's move into our last story of the night. We're talking about God of War to feature multiple mythologies, and this is by Tom. why you outing Brandon like that?
Wow. Brandon was toxic.
Brandon was toxic, but you gotta love the first fan. All right, here we go. Next God of War to feature multiple. Okay. Next God of War to feature multiple mythologies, and this is by Tom Phillips at IGN.
So history buffs can reportedly look forward to multiple mythologies appearing in the next God of War from Sony Santa Monica. The unannounced game will feature elements from various mythologies rather than solely focusing on a single setting, such as the Greek and Norse sagas seen previously. That's according to the new report by MP First, which specifically mentions Chinese and Japanese elements being in development. That same report also references online scuttlebutt over Mayan elements too, though does not go on to verify this particular claim. Still, it sounds like there will be plenty going on in the next chapter of the God of War universe, which Sony is expected to unveil in the near future. Last month, notorious video game leaker Nate the Hate claimed that the game would center on the character of Faye, Kratos' deceased wife, played by Daredevil's Deborah Ann Woll in God of War Ragnarok. IGN also understands this to be accurate. The leaker claimed that Sony's current plans to unveil the game this year ahead of a launch in 2027. Previous whispers of the project have described it as more of an action-focused take on the veteran franchise, with a tease by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier that the studio's next project was, quote, not a new IP, but it might feel like one. And I agree. This kind of lines up with that reporting, right? That this is going to feel like a new IP, but it's going to be set in the same universe as God of War, and this is going to essentially be like a prequel. This is going to focus on Faye before, and action is going to, like, obviously she was the previous owner of the axe before Kratos got it, so we'll probably see her wielding that. And the whole time, like the whole jumping mythologies thing, pretty much brings into account that, again, not spoiling too much here, Tyr is going to probably play a heavy thing because, in the first game, I don't remember too much about it being other mythologies being mentioned in the second game too much, but the first one, it hinted at, especially in that one room in the world tree, that, it teased multiple mythologies, and, Tyr had visited all the, like, he was like the realm hopper essentially. And I feel like that's how you include the multiple mythologies. Because, again, you can only go to the well so many times, as we learned from the Greek mythology series, right? Like, I know, like, we just got Sons of Sparta, which is like a prequel way before Kratos even became the God of War. But we got the trilogy, then we got 2 handheld spin-offs that came to console later, and then we got Ascension, that god-awful one that, was kind of like fit into a certain timeline of the God of War series. So that wore out its welcome, and I feel like a Norse duology, and then like the 0.5, like we got 2.5 games that, if you include Valhalla as its own separate thing. Now, yes, and I think, because Kind of Funny was talking about it, I don't know if you're going to call it God of War. You might say, call it whatever, a God of War story. Like, I think this might like have its own spin-off series that will make it feel like it's a new IP, but set in the same universe. We got a duology of the Norse, which told, I think a lot of the Norse mythology because of the style of gameplay that it was, compared to like the Greeks, very straightforward, bing, bang, boom, point A to point B type of thing. Whereas Norse, you got to explore a lot more, flesh out more, that you got a bunch of side content you got to flesh out to make the world feel more lived in.
Mimir telling stories.
Yes.
Like that part filled in so much of the lore of like Norse mythology.
Correct. And so I feel like if you just did Faye before she met Kratos in the Norse realm, I feel like that would just wear out a lot of people. Like, it wouldn't have the same pizzazz, not because it's Faye, but just because it's not a fresh world that we're in. You know what I mean? So in introducing Tyr, which is like hopping across realms and visiting these different mythologies, would put a fresh coat of paint spin on this series. Now, yes, I know there was rumors about, like after Ragnarok ended, the way it hinted at stuff for the future, it's like, we might get Atreus as the main character now, or we might get a side story with Kratos. I feel like this is the right move, and it might feel more of like a Miles Morales, like Uncharted Lost Legacy length type of game. Who knows? It may be just a whole new game. But again, that there was a leaked video of someone unbeknowingly interviewing Chris what's the, oh my god, I am so bad with names tonight. No.
Christopher Judd.
Yes, Christopher Judge. Unknowingly at a Comic-Con event, that it's like, we're going to announce, we're going to talk about World War, because it was just off the heels of them announcing the trilogy remake and Sons of Sparta. And he's like, we got something working on here too. We're going to announce in later this year, and then blah blah blah. I didn't know about that. It's going to launch in 2027, which would be fantastic. But I just, again, it's the pieces are lining up. It makes sense. I feel like this is going to be true, and I feel like that's going to be the best course of action. That Tyr is going to be like your Atreus and like your secondary character that's going to play a pivotal part of the story.
So, did you ever you got to where you fought Tyr in Valhalla, correct?
Yeah, like initially, like you found out who invited you.
Okay. So, as you fight him, he goes through 4 different weapons. Okay, you get his spear and shield.
Oh, okay.
So, you saw that's his what he's known for carrying, like it's
Right.
on there. And then
Yeah.
he has 3 others that are very interesting that do fit into some of the potential. You have the Machulti, a large club from Mesoamerican civilizations, including the Aztecs, Toltecs,
Mayan.
and Maya.
Okay.
So that could be the Mayan thing that they're talking about.
Mhm.
Then he had a katana, which of course brings in Japan.
Japanese.
And then he had the dual copish blades, which are the sickle-shaped swords from ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So, so that would make a lot of sense that they're like they planted that there because we did see again with that in God of War 1 that he did go to Egypt, that he had like they had different symbols that register with those and everything. So like having Faye in this where she is setting all of these things up, it could even go past what we know from God of War 1. You know what I mean? It might be she saw even further where it's like, hey, I know past this, like Kratos is going to have to go to these other places. So she's put, you know what I mean? She put in the work, you know?
So do you think that would lead to like, because you know at the end when they go to Jotunheim, I guess minor spoilers for 2018. I mean, if you haven't played it by now, you deserve to get spoiled. But you know, where they're walking through Jotunheim, you know, about to complete their quest, and they see Kratos just sees that mural that teases that does the setup for Ragnarok. Do you think that she's going to go through and do that? It's like, oh, hey, if I see you go here, I'm going to leave you like a message. That, you know, I don't know. We'll see, because I know some of the, you know, you talk about like the Egypt weapons, right? The dual sickle. Like I feel like this one will go to China, Japan, and Mayan, like all those mythologies. But I feel like Egypt will be refrained for Kratos because a lot of teases after, you know, whether it was, you know, during the development of Ragnarok to after Ragnarok ended, that Kratos' next adventure would go to ancient Egypt. So I feel like that will be a setup. Like I feel like they might tease Egypt, or it might be one of those realms like from 2018 where you didn't do a lot in that realm. You know what I mean? Like where you'll tease through Egypt, but I feel like the vast majority of the Egypt mythology will be reserved for Kratos' next adventure if they go that route, or it could just be what Atreus does. Who knows?
Yeah. And what would be interesting is like, because we've seen, you know, like God of War 3 is like the fall of like Greece and all of this.
Yep.
But what if like going to like Maya or the Aztecs, it's like literally like the fall of those civilizations. Like
Ooh.
you're getting jumped in there and you're like trying to save it, but it's like it's a super uphill battle because
that reminds me of season 1 of Loki with the TVA, where they go to like, you know, fixed points in history where it's like, oh, Mount Vesuvius erupting. You can't change that, but you're gonna go there anyway. You know?
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of opportunities here, and I am excited. You know, like, is it like Japan, China? Like, I think that would be interesting to see,
Right.
especially with, you know, Faye, like, because she was a large woman, you know, she's a giant. So it's like,
right.
like going to like Japan, she's gonna like tower over everybody, you know. And then like if we do get like a hint of Egypt, where you know, I think it will be a very cool thing. And you know, going off of Jason Schreier's, it's like, hey, it's going to be an established IP, but it's going to feel very different. That gives me a lot of things, because what did people say when we got God of War Ragnarok? It's more of the same. What did people say when we got Ghost of Yotei? It's more of the same.
More of the same.
And
Ignorance.
it's like, yeah, it's annoying, but it's like, okay, what could we do that no one could say it's more of the same? We're going to flip the script. We're going to give you multi-mythology. We're going to give you, Fae, which, dude, it would be so awesome because the Leviathan axe is made for her specifically by Sindri and Brock. So what if she had abilities with the axe that Kratos never even tapped into?
Ooh, that would be so dope.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, dude, like
she had magic too, correct?
Yeah, she had magic.
So yeah, you could do I mean, Kratos has magic too, but it's not like the typical giant magic. Like giant magic with that, woo, buddy. Ooh, you got my thoughts racing now, man.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool way to, bring the powers into a different place, and like if you don't have like an Atreus, maybe Tyr or whatever, or it could be something where her magic comes into play because Kratos has the magic of anger. You know what I mean? So it's like this would be an interesting way to kind of shake some things up. So I'm excited for God of War, Derek, and I know you are as well, especially after that little Corey Barlog, if you want to hire me. I'm gonna start a
freelancer at this point.
I'm gonna start a bidding war between these people.
Let them fight.
Oh, well, it's time for the Patreon Quick Hits, everybody. The Patreon Quick Hits, of course, brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows just like this one. Keep the lights and mics on. Help support a 1.5 person business by getting your very own membership today. You can help us in a myriad of different ways over there. It helps us out so much. And, we've got Derek over here. Look at him. He needs you to go over there and make him holler for that $1.
Fair enough.
So become part of the ship, part of the crew over at patreon.com/nerdcave. Now, the Patreon Quick Hits.
First up, Hazelight Studios celebrates 50 million game sales with It Takes Two leading the pack. The first Berserker Kazan studio reportedly reassigned to other projects after disappointing sales. 007 First Flight Limited Edition DualSense controller unveiled with pre-orders opening tomorrow. A Metal Gear Solid movie is in development from Final Destination Bloodlines duo Adam B. Stein and Zach Lipovsky. Thick as Thieves gets a May 20th release date. Marathon reportedly had a budget of over $200 million, and while the pressure is on Bungie to gain more players, it is not facing an imminent Concord-style shutdown. Let's put an asterisk yet. Because when I saw $200 million, I was like, oh, what other game had this that failed drastically? Oh, wait. Free-to-play Borderlands mobile game now available as limited-time test on iPhone. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition pre-order listings reveal an $80 price point, but still no release date. Switch Online adds 3 NES classics, including Pac-Man. Pokemon Champions Switch 2 bug means players must dock and undock their consoles for best graphics. S-Game confirms Phantom Blade Zero is in the intense final stages of development. Cairn is getting free DLC called On the Trail this summer. Invincible Versus fans call for rage quitting to be penalized as beta comes to an end. Rockstar confirms a limited amount of non-material company info was accessed in third-party data breach as hackers issue ultimatum. There was an update I forgot to include. They did, the demands weren't met. The hackers did publish it, and all it was sales data. Nothing GTA 6 related. It was just sales data of GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, the online earnings, and all that. And I'm just like, okay, cool. You didn't stick the landing. Amazon Luna will no longer allow owners to buy games, access game stores, or third-party subscriptions, and it's in effect now. Starfield PS5 release plagued by reports of crashes and save issues as fans call for refunds. A rumor, Call of Duty 2026 to launch in October to get away from that monster GTA 6 release. Metro 2039 officially confirmed and unveiled today. Bloodborne R-rated movie is in development with Jacksepticeye. Former Naughty Dog dev recalls crunch culture for games like The Last of Us and Uncharted as their level required it. Former Xbox vet says canceling The Last of Us Online was the right call and criticizes Naughty Dog and Sony for greenlighting it in the first place. Fable social media account reiterates fall 2026 release window amid rumors of an internal delay to avoid GTA 6. Following Anthem's shutdown with closure of BioWare Following Anthem's shutdown, BioWare's Dragon Age Inquisition PS3 servers have also been closed. Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced reportedly to include extra content, including a cast of new characters and stories. That's going to be interesting. We haven't seen that. It's almost like the uncut version of an Assassin's Creed game. Spider-Man 3 rumors ignite as Peter Parker face model teases new facial capture work. Wushang Fallen Feathers team has reportedly been dissolved. Bloober team reportedly is working on 7 horror games. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction has been delayed to summer. Crimson Desert sales have hit 5 million in less than 1 month after launch. PS5 sales reportedly hit year highs in US ahead of hardware price increases. I wonder why. It's almost like, oh, let me buy it up at this current price before it becomes unbuyable or out of my budget. Rumor, leaker says PS6 Lite model is probably not happening as it would be a nightmare for devs. Insomniac reaffirms Marvel's Wolverine info is coming this spring. Sonic Racing Crossworld's Angry Birds content now available includes Super Roaster and Red. And lastly, Starfield has reportedly has a Switch 2 version coming down the pipeline.
Man, PS6 Lite. All I'm really wanting from the PlayStation 6 is 2 things. I want a kick butt console, okay? And then I want Portal
games.
version 2. Well, yeah, I want games as well, but I want Portal version 2 that you can install the game on your Portal instead of just, streaming and everything. I think that would fix so many things, and you would open up a market because people want handhelds now. Like we're finally in the market, Derek. Portal is sold
Swinging
crazy
the
well.
Back.
Yeah, I've been a handheld person for a long time, Derek. A long time. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the PSP, the Vita.
What's that?
Derek.
Oh boy.
Derek sucks, y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know that.
And
he's my best friend. he's my best friend, and he sucks. Okay, but there you have it. There you have it. And I love that Crimson Desert is just crushing it. Like I know everybody was like, "Oh my god," but it's definitely found its people, and it's made me where I'm like, I gotta play this game. Like it is on the list.
Like I keep seeing it pop up like on TikTok streamers, and I'm just like, do I pull the trigger? Do I let me finish doing everything I want to do in Expedition 33 first, and then maybe I'll think about it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. It's like
that may be my Expedition 33 for next year. You know what I mean? How Expedition 33 came out a year ago, and I didn't play it till beginning of this year. So I'll probably do the same thing with Crimson Desert. I'll just wait till beginning of 2027 to play it, but we'll see.
We'll see. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is our stream tonight. Thank y'all so much for being here. Make sure to come back next week and hear all the video game news that you need to know. This has been Zach
and Derek.
You have a blessed week. Bye-bye.